Hey y'all. Today I want to talk about complaining. And I know everyone does this and you hear people doing this as well. And I want to let you guys know that complaining is an expression of negative thoughts or negative emotions that you're feeling. And when you have negative thoughts or negative emotions, it leads to complaining. So these negative thoughts and negative emotions pushes you to take action. And if you don't know what to do, then you will complain. So complaining helps if you're able to talk about the situation that you're in, and then in talking about it, you're able to figure something out about the problem that you're having, and then you should go and implement whatever solution that you've figured out. But if you are complaining about the same thing over and over again, and you're not opening yourself to other ways of seeing the problem, then that means you have not learned anything through the act of complaining. Because the basic patterns in life is that you have certain mental models about life, right? So you have facts and beliefs about life, and then you face a situation, and the facts and beliefs that you have does not really align with the situation that you're in, and that causes the problem that you have. And since you don't know how to deal with that problem, it will make you feel some negative thoughts or negative emotions. And then, like I said, that forces you to take action, and the action you're taking is complaining. And so you might be complaining to your loved ones or your friends. And when you do that, which is a good thing, you are expressing your discomfort through words, through communication to the other person, and the other person is supposed to help you see a different perspective. Because obviously the perspective that you have is not helping you solve the problem that you currently have, or the situation that you currently have. And so what the other person is supposed to do for you is they're supposed to ask you questions and then help you see things from a different perspective, so that you can figure out the solution to your problem. Now, the other person is not supposed to give you advice, okay? The reason why is because advice comes from their own perspective. Like if, you were complaining to me and I gave you advice, I am actually giving you advice from my perspective. I don't have your perspective. So there's no way that I can incorporate the totality of your perspective plus my perspective and then give you advice. That it doesn't work like that. That's why advice rarely works out. When advice is given that way, I'm basically telling you, hey, this is what I would do. But you're not me. You don't have all the perspective that I have. You don't have all the skills and experience and knowledge that I have. There's no way for you to take my advice unless you have similar perspectives, skills, and experience that you can use to overcome your problem. And if that's not the case, don't try to give advice at all. And plus, you don't want to tell people what to do or how to do things. You want people to figure it out themselves. That's how people learn. If you keep on telling people the answers, they're not really going to learn, because you need to actively engage your mind, and you have to actively act out in the world so that you can learn and grow. If other people are just telling you all the answers, you'll never overcome many challenges in the world that you're going to have. So when you're complaining to someone, try to get them to have you see a different perspective. And the best way to do this is for the other person to ask you questions, and then to maybe call out something that you're not seeing. So the reason why you're not seeing something is because you're stuck in a certain belief or certain perspective, and this is causing you to not see the solution to the problem. See, so it's very important for you to be able to adopt a different perspective. It's not about being right or wrong. It's about seeing something for what it is, right? It's when you're like this comes up in arguments all the time. If you're complaining to someone and then they're rejecting what you're seeing, it tends to trigger a defensiveness inside of you, and then that starts the argument, and then the complaint becomes an argument, and you don't want to talk to that person anymore. Try to talk when you're complaining to someone, and you guys are having a conversation about it. Don't reject anyone's perspective. It's all just perspective. It helps you see something new in your situation, then good. If it doesn't, then it's just the other person's perspective. If that person's perspective does not help you see any better, then fine. It's okay. Everyone have different perspective. We don't all have to adopt the same perspective. But if you listen openly and you are able to see the situation from a different angle, and that different angle is from the other person. See, the other person's giving you a perspective on how to see the situation from a different angle, then that will open up your mind a little bit more. If you're able to try to visualize or sense that person's perspective, then you've opened up your perspective, right? And then maybe you're able to find a solution for the issue that you're facing. Now, the other issue with complaining, if you're faced with a situation that causes you stress, and then you go to people and you complain, and you don't actively try to open up your mind to figure out the solution, what you're doing there is basically the life event gives you stress, and you don't know what to do with that stress, so you pass on that stress to someone else. It's negative. You've basically the negative emotions or negative thoughts or is getting passed on to other people. And if you're not trying to actively solve this problem, then all you're doing is passing on negative energy to other people. And if you keep on doing this over and over, what do you think is going to happen? The other person is going to feel stress every time they talk to you. And if you keep on stressing about the same thing and passing on that stress to the other person, they're going to feel that stress. And your relationship is going to degrade, because they're going to think, oh my God, you're stressing about the same thing again, and you're complaining about the same thing again. It's not improving. You're basically giving other people your burden. You couldn't figure out the issue, so you're giving people your burden. without trying to see things from their perspective, so that your mind can be more open, so that you can hopefully overcome that challenge. So complain with an intent to open up your mind. Don't complain just to complain. That's very toxic. Like I said, you're just basically passing on that negative energy to other people. And I know everyone have faced this before, where you're listening to someone complain and you try to talk to them, but then it doesn't get through. They're so stuck in their own beliefs and perspectives that they are not listening. And so it becomes very annoying for this person to come back every time to complain about the same thing, right? We've all faced that before, and it's very toxic. A small part of us, a small part of our relationship die every time someone does that to us, because it's a negative emotion that you're now attached to the other person. And so don't do that. Like, if you're going to complain, do it with a purpose of opening up your mind. I hope this helps. Thank you.